Hello, Flosstube. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. You will find on my channel both cross stitch and paper crafting. So if it says Flosstube, which is what today is, it will be all about my cross stitch, and if it says Facebook Live or something, that'll be about my card making and paper crafting. So you have joined me for cross stitch today. This is my February recap, so I'll tell you everything I worked on in February and my plans for March. So let's just jump right in. This is Flosstube number 63. I actually have 2 fully finished objects and 1 finish. So that's exciting. My first fully finished is this Valentine Quaker. I did finish stitching it in February. I put in 847 stitches on it. And it's called for floss and fabric, and that's the backing fabric. Now I did just pick up at my LNS, this is part of my haul, some of this Lady Dot Creates. I don't know if I can get it so you can see it very well, but it's this pink. So I think that will work. It seems to match okay. It's not exact match, but I think it'll be okay. So I'll probably stitch that around the edge. But I just picked that up the other day, so I haven't had a chance to do that yet. And then my other fully finished is actually, it's another Primrose. This is by Primrose Cottage. It's called Valentine's Day Quaker. This is actually the autumn quilt, but I just changed the colors. I'll have to tell you in a minute when I show you one of my new starts, because I'm using the same colors on that one. But I just changed up the colors to a dark and a light green instead of the called for colors for the autumn Quaker. And the fabric on the back is this. And again, I picked up some trim just at my LNS the other day, this light green, little pom-pom trim that I'll probably put on there. So 2 fully finished. It's unprecedented, 2 in 1 month. And actually, this was a WIPCO call for February, was to fully finish 1 project. And then in March was fully finish a project. So I'm counting this as my March. Fully finish. And then I had 1 finish. So every month I have 2 WIPCO boards, and I have 1 that's full coverage and 1 that's Mirabilia. So I have 2 full coverage and 2 Mirabilias, just kind of telling you what my how I plan things out. So I have 2 Mirabilias and 2 full coverage every month for WIPCO, and then I have my Heaven and Earth stitch along that I'm doing. Then I spin a wheel to see what else to work on, and I've got a list in there of projects I think are potential to finish this year. And so the one that it spun for February was Acorns by the Blue Flower, and I finished it. So I just had to do the N, most of the N, the S, and then the border right here. So just that corner is what I had left. And I put in 1,352 stitches on it this month to get it finished. So that's exciting. I was worried I wouldn't want to stitch on it because it is more a fall piece. But I think because I was so close, I just wanted to get it finished. So that's another finish for the year. I think that's number 3, Valentine's Day Quaker, this, and what did I finish the first month? Oh, Plum Pudding, that's right, in January. All right, those are all my finishes, but hey, that's probably more than I had this time last year. All right, let's get into my whips. So for WIPCO, I had 1 finish, which was my Valentine's Day Quaker. And then I had, let's see oh, no, before I get into WIPCO, let me show you my Heaven and Earth stitch along. Actually, I think I have a couple things. So this is what I chose, the Drinks on the Beach. So this is what it's going to look like when it's finished. I loved all the bright colors. Not showing up that bright when I get it that close, but. So it's Lars Stewart. These are not available anymore. These were special charts just for the stitch along. And so you had to sign up by the middle of December, I think it was. But this month I put in 3,884 stitches. And I'll put a picture in of what it looked like last time. This is where I am now. So I've been working on the diagonal, but then if there's something like this that I want to just try and finish, I go ahead and do that. So I'm making good progress. I'm hoping I can keep this up. I really do want to at least get the 6 pages done so that I can get all the other stitch along charts. That's my goal for the year. We still have another month before they give us the next set of pages. So I've got some work to do in March. Another stitch along I was doing, I've put this away lately. So I was using this as my daily 100. This is, I'll have to put a picture in of what it's going to look like. This is my Autumn Lane Stitchery Woodland Winter. So I finally finished part 2, which was all this right here, which was full coverage. And now I'm into part 3, and then there are 2 parts above it. It's really pretty, but I put it away for a little bit now. Like I said, I was doing this as a daily 100, but I put it away for a little bit now just because I'm ready to work on something a little bit more seasonal. We've actually had some days, I live in Arkansas, and we've actually had some days in the upper 60s and even up to 70 something one day. So I'm getting the spring itch now. Okay, now we're ready for whip go. So for my Mirabilias, I worked on, well, sorry, not just Mirabilia, it's Fancy Ladies, because this first one is not a Mirabilia. It is from Passion Ricomo. I'm not really sure how you say it. So on this one I did, oh, I didn't tell you how many stitches I did on Woodland Winter. I did 2,256, and I've been terrible about telling you fabric. Woodland Winter is on, I think it's Twilight by Picture This Plus. 32 count Twilight by Picture This Plus. This one is a hand dyed by Stephanie, but I don't think the tag is on it, so I can't, I'm pretty sure it is. I started this one years ago. So I'll put a picture in of what it will look like, and then also what it looked like last time, but I can show you what I stitched. So this is the whole thing. It's big, so it's kind of hard to show. So what I worked on this month, and there's some Kreinik, I don't think it's Kreinik, it's actually Petite Treasure Braid, I believe, which will never show up on camera very well, but I worked on all of this dark over here, and there is some Petite Treasure Braid in there, but that dark really is, you can see it pick up a little bit there, but there's also some in this dark, and it's just not going to show up. So I did 742 stitches on this one. So my goal for my whip go is to work on them 5 hours or get 500 stitches, or at least that much. So if I want to work a little bit more than I do. All right, I need to put it back away so I don't lose everything and have a complete mess when I'm done. And then the other Fancy Lady is a Mirabilia. I just have them kind of stuffed in one bag. I need to get some more bags so I can separate these out better. This is Siren and the Shipwreck. So it will look like this when it is done. Lots of bling in that, whatever it is she's holding. I always thought it was like a chandelier type thing, but I don't know. Lots of bling in that. I do my beading after everything else, so I will put Kreinik in beforehand, but I don't do any beading until after I'm done. So here's everything on it, and I don't iron anything, so I apologize for the wrinkles. So I worked on filling in this, and then I worked all of this skin I worked on. But I'll put a picture in of what it looked like last time. She's beautiful. I don't think there's any, no, there's not any Kreinik in her yet. There is Kreinik called for, but I haven't done any of it yet. So those were my 2 Fancy Lady calls for February. And then on my full coverage board, there was the Fully Finish, which was my Valentine's Day Quaker. And then the other full coverage was Hot Air Balloon Sunrise. So I'll put a picture in of what it is. Oh, I don't know if I know. Oh, I think on the Mirabilia, the fabric was the called for. I think it's like water lily, sea lily. I'm out of practice, aren't I? All right, and my full coverage, the majority of them, except for the very first one I started, are on 28 count, easy count. So this is Hot Air Balloon Sunrise. And I always seem to fold them up, so I have to completely unfold them to show you. So I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like when it's done and what it looked like last time. So here's where I am. So I don't remember if I had parked threads or if I'd already started converting this, but I'm going back to diagonal. So just sky so far. I can't wait till I get into some of those bright colored balloons, but so far just sky. All right. So that's all my WIPGO calls for February. And then I had 2 new starts, you know, because I'd finished a couple. So the first one that I'm going to show you is called Nature's Journey, and I've seen several people working on this. Okay, doesn't want to come out. I think I need a bigger bag for it. And this is in the spring Just Cross Stitch magazine, this first part. And so it just has, sorry, I should have marked this page, what it's going to look, what the first part is going to look like. So it kind of has, you know, the whole thing, but this is what is in this issue of the magazine. And this is by Sprouting Lupine. And I did 869 stitches on this. This is on 32 count vellum by Picture This Plus. And this is where I am. Oh, it's pretty accurate for the fabric. That is actually more than 869 because this, I worked on it some over the weekend for March. So if you're saying that looks like more than 869 stitches, you're correct. But it's a fun one. It is fun to work on something spring. I'm not going to try and wrestle it back in. We'll just set it over here. Worry about it later. All right, and then the other new start I had is, I'll show you that too while I'm here. It is called Luck of the Irish. And it's also by Primrose Cottage. So I wanted to do something since I had my pillow. So just to show you, the pillow that I did is, is this autumn quilt that I just used the St. Patrick's colors instead, some greens. And so now I can tell you what greens. They are Bayberry by Gentle Arts and Cucumber by Gentle Arts. Oh, you can't really see. So those are the 2 colors I'm using, and I also am using them for this Luck of the Irish so that they would match. So I think the Luck of the Irish just calls for, it just calls for DMC. So here is where I am. Now I actually put in these words in the tops of those in March. This needle minder, isn't that fun? I don't usually talk about needle minders. That's from Gina's Unique Boutique. She's got a Facebook group, but she's also on Etsy. So that was my other new start. Like I said, I figured since I had finished 2, I could start to All right, let's see if I can get this one back in too, so I don't have too much of a mess. All right, those are, I did 246 stitches on this one, and it's on platinum, 32 count platinum. So total for February, I did 11,658 stitches, which that's more than I used to do before I was retired. So maybe I'm actually getting into a rhythm where I can get more stitching done now that I'm retired. All right, plans. Let me show you my WIPCO calls for March. So on my full coverage board, one was fully finished and objects, so we're counting this. And the other one, and I think that's all the fully finished I have on there, so I think from now on it will be actual full coverage charts. So the next one is called, I think it's called Butterflies and Clouds. I think it's actually Butterflies and Clouds 2. And I haven't worked on this one for, I don't think I worked on it last year at all, which is why I'm kind of doing, same thing with some of my fancy ladies. I hadn't worked on them in years. So by putting them on WIPCO, then I'll work on them some. And this one I'm actually doing, this is the only one, I wanted to try it, tent stitch. All my others are full cross on 28 count, 1 over 1 full cross. This is 2 over 1 tent stitch or half cross stitch. So I will put a picture in of what it's going to look like, but this is where I'll be starting in March on this one. So I'll have to pay attention. I'm used to doing full crosses, so that'll be different to do tent stitch on that one. All right, and then my fancy ladies. Let's see. I have my notes over here. That's why I keep looking down over there. Let's see which one this is. One of them is Red by Mirabilia. To find the, here it is. This is what this one will look like. Just beautiful. As all of hers are. And I do not know which way this goes. I think it goes this way. And I don't have, this one I started so long ago, I don't have any fabric information on it. But this is how far I've gotten on it. It's a nice gray. So hopefully I'll get some good progress on it once I figure out which direction is up. So that's Red. Nope, I can only this one. Trying to keep it all. I've got to get some more bags so I can separate some of these fancy ladies. And then the other one is Sleeping Princess, which is this one. She's beautiful. She's huge too. She is 214 by 313. And I think I'm doing her on the called for 32 count beach walk. And if I remember right, I have a very small start on this one. If I remember right, I started at the wrong orientation. So I will need to double check that before I do any more work on it. That's all I have done on her. So she needs some love. All right. So those are my WIPCO calls. And then I have been pulling out something I think I can finish. So like in February, I don't just spin the wheel, but I pulled the Valentine's Day Quaker because it was seasonal for February, and it was one I thought I could finish. So I'm doing the same thing for March. So this one I know I can finish if I work on it. Hip Hop by Lizzie Kate, and it comes with a finishing kit. So if I was smart, I would fully finish it once I get it finished. So it's very close. This is where I am. This is just on a stiff, like cream linen. But I just have the basket here. and then some flowers and the rest of the word hippity. That's it. So that one definitely can get done this month. And since I have all of the stuff to finish it, I should fully finish it too. We'll see. Hopefully I will. And then when I spun the wheel, it spun Silent Night. So I don't know if I will work on this or not. My plan was to pull this out for Jolly July and try and finish it then, but I'll go ahead and show you just in case I decide to work on it. I am not doing it, it's a Mill Hill kit, and I am not doing it on the perforated paper. I got some 28 count pickled by Picture This Plus. It's really wrinkly. And this is where I am. That's a little bit better color of the fabric. So I have to finish outlining the letters. And then I think there are some, outlining the letters and around the whole thing. It's really hard to see. These little things that you have to stitch, and then these I think are metallic threads, and then all the beads. So it's got a little bit of work to be done, but should be doable. But again, that may not come out until July. But since the wheel spun it, I wanted to go ahead and show you just in case. Okay. That is plans. Everything I worked on, all my plans for, and I'll continue working. Of course, I'll continue working on the Heaven and Earth stitch along, but I'll probably still continue working on that Nature's Journey. And then my daily 100, I've just been kind of picking something that is seasonal or something that I feel like working on. So there'll be some other things. I don't know that I'll have any new starts in March. Probably shouldn't. I have just a little bit of haul to show you. I did stop by my L&S one day last week to get those trims, and of course they had some things for me that I had asked them to get. I've been getting these monthly mini villages from Country Cottage. So this is the April one, and then they've been calling for beautiful beige, 32 count beautiful beige. So I've been just getting a piece of that each time. So I got that. This was a blue flower I had seen when I was at one of her classes at my L&S, and I didn't pick it up, so I had them pick it up for me. It is Butterfly Garden. So I don't know, when I'll start this, but I just wanted to be sure I had it. And then there was a lot of confusion about this one when I was there asking them to get it for me. This is Quaker Christmas Stocking by Kathy Barrick. I'm sure you've seen it. I will be doing it as a sampler, not a stocking. At least that's my plan as of right now. So I was asking them, I was looking for this because I'd seen people on Flosstube working on it. And so I'd asked them, I said, I'd like to have you get this, or do you have this right now? And she's like, oh no, that's not coming out till market. And I'm like, well, how are people working on it already? And then I was talking to a friend. She's like, well, maybe it was a Patreon, and now it's going to be available for everybody. But then I was looking just to make sure I told her the right name on my market list, or put it on my market list, and it was for sale. Like somebody on Etsy had it, and I can't remember. And so I went up and talked to them again. Well, we figured out we were confused. She had showed me a picture of the new one that's coming out at market, and I don't remember what it's called. This is Quaker Christmas. I don't remember what the new one is called. I'm sorry. She was talking about that, and that's what she had showed me the picture of, and I saw it had a swan on it. I thought, yeah, that's it. But then once I was looking, I was like, no, it's this one, which is already out. So they got that for me. So again, I don't know when I'll work on it. I don't know if I'll do the NPIs or not. I don't have really a selection of that, so I'll probably just do DMC. And then the last thing to show you is I got my fabric of the month from Bee Stitch Me. It's called Oat. I'm in the neutrals. I was in the where it alternated, but I have quite a few colorful ones from Hand Dyed by Stephanie when I was in her fabric of the month. And so I said, just change me over to all neutrals. So this is Oat, and it's just a real nice, sorry, I should have taken it out. Let me take it out because it's going to be so have so much glare that you won't be able to really see it. Even though it is hard to get stuff on camera to show up very well. But so this is oat, and this is 32 count Lugana. So it's a nice, I don't know, nice tannish, grayish, beige. It's really pretty. Let's just open it up. Isn't that pretty? So I'm getting quite a collection now. I can start, when I want to start something new, I can go look at my stash and see. All right, I think that is everything. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully I can get this uploaded. Today is Monday the 3rd, I believe, of March. So hopefully I can get this uploaded soon. You never know. Sometimes it will take just an hour or so. Sometimes it will run all night and still not be done in the morning when I get up. So I just never know how long it's going to take to upload. So hopefully you will see this pretty soon. All right. Thank you for joining me. Bye.